Hello, everybody. It is Thursday. You are watching MFSN The Hub. That means we're here to talk fantasy football. It's the fall Thursday night. Games start tonight. We're in week 8. I'm joined by the great, the all-knowing, the all-powerful Oz himself, Ross the Boss. How you doing, Ross?
Yes, Thursday night here in Los Angeles, the Chargers versus the Vikings, excuse me. And it should be a good offensive game, if you know what I mean. A lot of touchdowns, a lot of scoring. So if you're better, you know what I'm talking about.
Not that we encourage gambling here,
Nope,
folks.
I didn't say that.
All right, so it is the middle of the season now. We're in week 8, almost smack dab in the middle. It also means we're at the heart of bye weeks.
Six teams, Casey.
There's 6 teams. And we also have a lot of injuries. But when you're looking at the bye weeks, this week it's brutal. I mean, they call it somewhat Bye-mageddon is kind of a term they use. But look at the wide receivers who are out. You have Marvin Harrison. You have Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams. You have Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams. You have Brian Thomas, and you have Travis Hunter. You have Jacoby Myers. You have Jackson Smith-Njigba. Like, these are, you're talking, some of those guys are top 5, top 7 names that are all out at once, and it changes the value of a lot of of a lot of wide receivers. And it's, I mean, man, look at somebody like Stephon Diggs is suddenly now a number 1 wide receiver this week. He's probably in the top 10, whereas other weeks he'd probably be outside the top 15.
The reason you watch our show and you pick up players and you do waiver wire and you do all your research is for this reason. I mean, it's obviously if you're starting, let's say, a Devontae Adams and he's not playing this week, you're not going to start him because he'll get 0 points. So on your bench, hopefully you've been watching us and listening to who you should pick up and have on your bench. You can just replace that player very easily, like a Xavier Legette or something like that, and have somebody who's going to get you some points, a lot of points, so you can win the week.
Yeah,
but that's the reason you have a bench. I mean, that's the pure reason.
Yeah, when you're looking at the waivers, you're now at the point of the season where you have to think 2 weeks ahead with a pickup. You don't want, because you have to pay attention whether the team already had their bye, the players got a bye coming up, when do the other players on your team have a bye week? Because you want to make sure you have the fill-ins. In one of my leagues, I think I have every running back on a bye, and so I'm running out like Jaden Blue and Brashard Smith, and just hoping and praying that they get some action, because I didn't do a great job of building my roster around running backs.
Well, again, and then in reality, let's just do a reality check. If you have 1 week we got to start, let's say, the blue guy you mentioned, the rookie from Texas, it's not the end of the world.
No, and I actually, for full disclosure, sometimes I plan that in my draft where I want to have just 1 or 2 weeks where almost all of my best players are on a bye, so that the other 14 games of the season or 15, 16 games of the season, I have a full roster of at least my top draft picks. And that's just one of the strategies you have to pay attention. Another thing you can do, and this is a little more devious, but if you're in a much more cutthroat or competitive league, you can start picking up players just to prevent other people from getting them. If you know your opponent is going to be desperate for a wide receiver or a tight end or a handcuff at running back, and he's on the waiver wire, like somebody like, Monangahi? I'm blanking on how you pronounce his name, the running back for Chicago, who's stealing some of DeAndre Swift's thunder there. And the DeAndre Swift owner is going to want to pick him up. Like, pick him up, block him. That's another great way to work. All right. Mo Diesel 1026. What's up, Mo? Half PPR. Do I trade away MPH and Henry for Kyron Williams and Kenneth Walker? Ooh.
Okay, let me speak real quick. So, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson's coming back, I believe, this week. I think he's practicing. He's not at some food truck in the middle of the night looking like he's stoned, but that's just speculative. I don't know if you saw that pic of him at the food truck, Casey. It's pretty funny. But I think Henry's going to pick it up. I really do. I don't think he's going to have these really bad weeks coming up, especially with Jackson back. I I'm a firm believer that Derrick Henry has more gas in the tank. I think he'll do well. Walker is not the guy that gets the ball in the red zone in Seattle. It's the kid from UCLA. What's his name? Chaminade? Not Chaminade. Who's the running back at Seattle? Casey, the second guy.
Should I let you struggle? Zach Charbonnet.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, got it. So I'm not a big Walker guy, just because of that fact. So I think I would keep Henry and MPH and not make that deal. Walker scares me. I would not want him on that.
Yeah, I'm a huge Ken Walker guy. I drafted him in a few leagues, unfortunately. But he is, and he looks like the better running back when you watch Seattle play. He's clearly the more explosive and big play guy. But when it comes to inside the 8 to 5 yard line, for some reason they have a preference for Charbonnet. And so the point side with him, and he has an injury history, is a little bit
well said.
But I do like Kyren. I don't think it's a clear win for you. I don't think. Do I think there's a higher ceiling with the two guys you're getting? Yes, but I don't think it's necessarily. I still think Derrick Henry and MPH are going to perform. I don't know. That's a tough one. I would probably.
I would keep Henry. I just feel that I feel Baltimore's still going to win that division.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson is back. That makes a huge difference for Derrick Henry. And I do. Man, I'm such an ageist. Mo, you caught me with a good question because Derrick Henry's on the wrong side of the age grade for me, but I don't think he's fallen off a cliff. I think this team struggled. I think with Lamar Jackson back, you're going to see a better Derrick Henry. Okay. Full PPR start 3, Ladd McConkey, Rome Odunze, Cortland Sutton, and Emeka Egbuka.
Egbuka is questionable, just so you know. I don't know if he's practicing today or tomorrow, but you may want to check that before we say our answer. I love Ladd McConkey tonight. I think Minnesota's defense is really, really hurt, and they'll give up a lot of yards. Cortland Sutton, I'm still waiting for that huge game. He hasn't done it, so I would sit Cortland Sutton this week just because I love Rome in Chicago. I feel he's the number one right now, and the Ohio State rookie is just unbelievable.
For me, I'm going to disagree with you on this one because I think the guy to sit is Rome Odunze. I'm a big fan of Rome Odunze, but I love Ladd McConkey, especially in a PPR. I think going tonight.
Dallas plays some cakewalk. Who's Dallas play again?
Dallas plays Cortland Sutton. That's why I don't want to sit him. I think Bo Nix might be the number one quarterback this week going against that Dallas defense. And I think Sutton's going to be a big benefactor of that. Look what all the number ones have done against Dallas.
Yeah, I just feel Franklin takes a lot of reception from him.
I worry about the Rome Odunze because they're going up against the Ravens, who have a porous run defense too. I just think this could be a DeAndre Swift kind of game. They still have DJ Moore, who it seems like Caleb Williams has developed a lot of chemistry with over the past few weeks. He's been looking at him a lot. So I think the highest upside 3 would be McConkey, Sutton, and Egbuka, if you asked me. Although I could be talked out of Ladd McConkey for Rome Odunze only because McConkey has to deal with Keenan Allen, who runs pretty much the same route tree he does, and take some of those receptions from him. But I'm a big Ladd McConkey fan. I own him in Dynasty. Yeah, so Albert Marroquin, good afternoon. It's good to see you. Thank you for always checking in with us. I was going to ask you some start-sit questions.
Go ahead. Shoot.
All right. So I already said Bo Nix is my top quarterback this week. How do you feel about Joe Flacco?
Top 5 quarterback this week against the Jets. The Jets are a team that are in disarray. Even their owners doesn't want to start he doesn't want to start their starting quarterback anymore. Fields. He wants to start Taylor, and I get it. But
Yeah.
the Jets are just in so much disarray, and they have so much problems going off the field. Joe Flacco, looked unbelievable. 300 yards, four touchdowns, right? And those weapons of Higgins and Chase. I mean, I can play quarterback for the Bengals and have 300 yards with those two guys. I mean, they're that good. But I love Joe Flacco this week. Top 5.
Okay. Assuming he plays this week, although he's dealing with a bit of a heel issue,
Yeah.
Michael Penix against the Miami Dolphins.
He'll play. The Dolphins, in the same sentence, the Dolphins team is in disarray. Talking about a team that needs a new coach and needs a new identity. I mean, they're just horrible. They're probably the worst coach team in football. Seriously. I would take Penix this week. Is the game's in Atlanta, correct? And
Yes.
Penix at home is a whole different quarterback than he is away. When he's away, he's horrible. If you're a bettor, don't bet on Atlanta when they're away. They're a whole different team. It's like Jekyll and Hyde. So yes, I like Penix at home. I feel he'll have a good game. I think that he'll play with a bad heel. He's not going to sit down.
Probably my favorite quarterback this year, but he has a tough matchup. I want to know if you'd start him if you had him. Drake May going
He's playing
against
New Orleans,
the
right?
Cleveland, going against the Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland Browns. I would not. I have a bad feeling about this game. I think it's going to be low scoring.
In New England, though, at least.
I know. I just think the Browns, the rush against the quarterback Garrett is unbelievable. I would not want to start May this week. It's the one of the weeks I would just sit out and not start him if you have that opportunity.
Okay, and the last one, Jordan Love at Pittsburgh.
Jordan Love's another one. When he plays away games, he's just a different quarterback. He's not the same guy. And I know Pittsburgh's defense got kicked around against the Bengals. I get it. But Pittsburgh's at home. And TJ Watt's going to have a field day on Sunday against Love. He's going to have a few sacks. I know it's an Aaron Rodgers revenge game because he played for Green Bay for so many years. But I think Pittsburgh's going to be motivated for Aaron Rodgers, and their defense is going to give Green Bay a lot of problems.
Okay. Here's an interesting one. We'll switch to running back. Carolina going against Buffalo. Rico Dowdle or Chuba Hubbard, and do you start either of them?
So Chuba Hubbard's a guy that will come in during pass situations. Rico, I don't know how you can sit him. Seriously. I mean, last week we said, he's not going to be that effective. He had a great game last week. And this week, I mean, you can't sit Rico. You can't sit him. So if you have Rico on your team, and unless you have some huge running backs, let's say Jonathan Taylor or somebody like that, then maybe you can sit him. But Rico's the guy you got to start. Chuba is not going to get the majority of the handoffs. I know they're saying like 50-50. It's going to be like 60-40, 70-30 in Rico's favor. So I'm still a Rico believer. He's playing unbelievable. You got to start him. You got to give him 15 to 20 handoffs a game. And they'll bring Chuba in for the pass. I mean, they'll bring him in third down and long. That's when Chuba's going to play.
All right, one more running back. What do you feel about Jaylen Warren going against Green Bay?
Jaylen Warren was hurt. He came back last week, and he looked pretty good against everybody looks good against the Bengals. But Jaylen Warren at home, I think he'll be the main. I know Gainwell's there. He's their other running back, and he's been getting some handoffs. I think Warren will have a pretty good game, and he also receives the ball pretty well too. It's a good start. I think he'll at least have. I'd say he has at least one touchdown. How about that? And 50, 60 yards rushing.
Okay. Wide receivers. Who would you rather start?
Okay.
Chris Olave against Tampa Bay,
or
T. Higgins against the Jets? So number one, Chris Olave against Tampa Bay, or number two, T. Higgins going against the awful Jets?
Olave, I just don't trust Spencer Rattler to get him the ball as much as Flacco getting Higgins the ball. Higgins, in practice, Flacco and him have such a great chemistry. And I know he threw the chase like over 20 times last week, but I think Higgins will. I'd rather start Higgins if I had a choice.
Okay. Romeo Dobbs against Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
or Tez Johnson against New Orleans.
Ooh. So Tez Johnson has to take the place of Mr. Evans, who's out for the season. And I feel in that situation, I'd rather have Baker Mayfield throwing to me. I think that's a better. I'd rather have Tez Johnson.
All right. How about Kendrick Bourne, who had some great weeks with San Francisco,
Yep.
or Khalil Shakir going against Carolina?
So, Bourne Identity, one of my favorite movies, actually. He's not getting the ball as much as he was getting when those guys were hurt, when Kittle was hurt, and when what's the other big receiver that came back last week for them? Actually,
For whom?
Who?
For whom? For which team?
The Niners.
Did they have Juwan Jennings come back?
Yeah, Jim Jennings came back. Thank you. And so I'm not a big Bourne guy anymore. I was when those guys were hurt, but with Kittle back, I would just stay away from. I would not even start Bourne. I would start somebody else.
Okay, P. Gear has a question for us. He says, I need depth.
Yeah.
And I have Justin Jefferson, DeAndre Swift, and Kenneth Walker to trade. I'm trying to trade for some of Bucky Irving, Cortland Sutton, Jordan Addison, Rashad White, or Ramondre Stevenson. I need depth badly. What do y'all think I ask for?
Okay,
well,
let's go through the guys you want. It's a good time to try to get Bucky. He'll be back either this week or next week.
He's not back this week. I think they already ruled him out.
White's still the guy. So Addison's have been on ever since he came back. He's been on fire. I mean, this guy's.
Yeah, I find it interesting that when I'm looking at this, you're willing to trade Jefferson, who's the number 1 in Minnesota, to get the number 2 in Minnesota. I mean, these are all guys you should be able to get 2 players back for. I think if I was going to trade any one of the 3 you listed, it would be Kenneth Walker, because as we mentioned earlier, I don't like the Zach Charbonnet usage around the end zone. Now, I don't know how much you can get for him, but I would ask for, it depends what you need more depth at, like Ramondre Stevenson and Jordan Addison, or Ramondre Stevenson and Cortland Sutton would probably be better, because you don't want Addison and Jefferson.
I was saying maybe you should stack and have Jefferson and Addison.
Well, I think that works well in like daily fantasy stuff, like
you're right.
DFS. It doesn't work in season long.
Stevenson, I would stay away from, just because I don't think he'll have that starting job for much longer.
I think he does. I mean, they're showing no indication of slowing him down, but
I don't believe that.
I would hold on. If I could hold on to Swift, I think DeAndre Swift is massively underrated this year. I would rather trade Jefferson or Walker. If I'm trading Jefferson, though, I got to get a ton.
You want a number 1. You want like a number 1 top tier running back.
You got to get. I mean, he's a top 5 pick. You're
top
trading
3.
away. Man, that's tough. If I was trading Jefferson, I'm trying to think of who. I would want a Devontae Adams type back and a running back like a Bucky Irving. If I could get those 2 back for Jefferson, that's probably a pretty fair deal if Irving's coming back soon. I'm worried about Rashad White. He's only depth for a week or 2. Then all of a sudden he goes back to what he was before. Man, maybe I don't know what team all the same guy has, but if I'm trading Justin Jefferson, I want like Devontae Adams and Bucky Irving, or Devontae Adams and Kyron Williams, somebody like that. I just think you got to shoot for the moon on those. I would scour the waiver wire. I don't know how many teams are in your league, but I would scour the waiver wire if I'm just looking for depth and get some of the handcuffs for your guys. Because if your starters are good enough that you could trade one of those 3, you can probably live with the depth off the waiver wire. How do you feel about it, Ross?
I would keep Jefferson unless you get a top tier running back. I don't believe in, as much as I love White because he went to a great college.
He did, but he's
I-
going to lose that job. How
yeah,
would you feel about trading Jefferson and you
Yeah.
get some package of, if it's a single league, you get some package of Cam Scatterboo,
Ooh.
Stephon Diggs, and something else like
I don't. Yeah, again,
a
it just
good
depends
slot
on the league.
receiver.
But yeah, I would go after one of those guys. Scadaboo's good for a touchdown a week. I mean, he's another guy that went to an unbelievable college too.
I know they all went to Brigham Young.
They all went to not Brigham Young.
University of Arizona. That's
no,
right.
not the University.
Go Wildcats.
No. Keep going. But
or maybe you could get like a Jaylen Warren back in the deal.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of his in fantasy. I don't know.
It might be a good time to buy low on Jacoby Myers because he could be
There you
traded
go.
any day
Maybe.
now and go to a good program. But it's hard to get fair value for Justin Jefferson out of somebody, especially in a season-long league. If you're in a dynasty or keeper league where you can trade some draft picks and trade for next year, then you can do it. But in season-long,
it's so funny, Casey. I have Barkley, Shaquan Barkley in the league.
Yeah, rough year for him.
But I also have really good running backs. I have like Cam Scatterboo. I have Karan Williams. I mean, I have really good people. I've been trying to trade Barkley for the past week. Jefferson, like all these, a lot of top tier guys, but fair deal. It's like 1 for 1. No one wants him. I mean, I've been even dipping down a little bit, and no one wants Barkley. They're like,
yeah, I'm scared of him too. Remember this guy in his 4 or 5 years with the Giants was injured for almost 2 full years. It felt like,
I know.
And now they gave him the ball almost 500 times last year. I think at some point, a 27-year-old is actually 32 years old. So it becomes pretty scary.
I've been trying to trade him. I have no luck.
No, I mean, you could trade. I think you're better off probably trying to trade him to somebody who's trying to rebuild for a draft pick or something. But
yeah, it's a redraft league. It's not a keeper league.
Oh, okay, then that makes it different.
It's just a money redraft, draft league, redraft league. Blah, blah, blah.
All right, guys. Anything else, Ross?
I guess we can go through. Do you want to go through the games for this week and just?
Yeah, we can touch on them quickly. I'll tell you the game. You tell me your thoughts. How's that?
Okay, go.
All right. Tonight's game, we got Minnesota traveling to Los Angeles to play the Chargers.
Big offensive explosion. Both teams will have a lot of receiving yards. I'm not sold on any of the running backs. So if you have any of the receivers and quarterbacks, start them.
We have a lot of big spreads tonight, this weekend. Miami at Atlanta.
Miami, I gave up on. Don't start anybody from Miami Dolphins. Yeah, I love Waddle. You do the best Waddle impression I've ever seen. But again, I'm not Miami. There you go. And Waddle is probably the most underrated and unused receiver in the NFL. That's my opinion.
I know. We already talked the Jets at Cincinnati.
And for Atlanta, you say it all the time. It's the 3-headed guys you start.
Yeah. How about this one? New York, the football Giants, at Philadelphia. Remember, the Giants just put up some points and embarrassed the Eagles 2 weeks ago.
I love a lot of points. You bet the points. A lot of points will be scored. I love Scatterboo. I even like Dart in that game. The Eagles' defense isn't that great, and the Giants
hasn't been playing well. I know.
And the Giants' fourth quarter against Denver was the biggest debacle ever. I haven't seen something like that in years. So the Giants' defense to me is just they're going to give up a lot of points.
Yeah.
AJ Brown. I mean, all those guys. You got to start both sides. You start everybody.
Okay.
Everybody out of the league.
How about? This one could be ugly. San Francisco at Houston.
The spread on that. I know you don't like talking spreads, but the spread's like -1 for San Francisco.
It's 1.5. Yeah, Houston's a 1.5 point.
Yeah,
favorite.
It's like I don't get it. The 49ers defense sacks a lot of quarterbacks, and I feel that defense is going to really come up and get Houston. I love the 49ers. I love Kittle. I love their whole offense. McCaffrey's going to go off, and I would stay away from Houston. Nico Collins isn't playing.
He's got a concussion. I don't know if he's out of the protocol.
Chubb, I think, lost his job to Marks. So
it's going to be.
Yeah, I think the Niners are going to run all over them. I wouldn't start any running back for the Houston team.
One more question. How many touchdowns is Jonathan Taylor going to score against Tennessee this weekend?
3.
You think it's another 3-touchdown game? And he's probably out by the third quarter.
Last year, he had didn't he have over like 200 yards last year against Tennessee, if I remember right? I mean, he's going to have close to 200 yards. I say a prediction over 200 yards, over 200 yards rushing, 200.
Wow.
Yards rushing for Jonathan Taylor if he plays the fourth quarter. If he doesn't play the fourth quarter, I don't think.
And if he's available on your waiver wire, pick up DJ Gideon because that Indianapolis offensive line is opening holes that everybody can run through. And Jonathan Gideon is a twisted ankle, is a calf bruise away from becoming a number 2 running back in the league. So if you have room on your bench, I would go for DJ Gideon.
I mean, Jonathan Taylor's on my list of people that are going to, and then the Monday night game, Daniels isn't playing.
I know that could be a bloodbath
in Kansas City on Monday night. I mean, that's when they shine. So
that's Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy. I don't know if you can play any of the running backs. Probably they all stink, but
that has blowout.
Mahomes. I mean, even Kelsey could get into this one. So
yeah, there you go.
All right, Ross. Well, thank you for the information. I hope all of your fantasy teams dominate, unless they're playing mine, in which case I hope they lose very close, painful battles. Everybody, we are back again on Tuesday, October 28th, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, where we'll talk about the Week 9 waiver wire and recap Week 8 to see how you can strengthen your lineup as we go to the second half of the season. Have a great weekend, everybody. This is us signing off. We'll see you next week.